Lynn was working 3 different jobs just to survive. But even after all that hard work, her entire income went straight into paying off the loan EMIs. On top of those jobs, she also created content on Instagram, which helped her earn a little money through donations from her followers. One day, while she was on her way to work, she received a phone call. The caller claimed to be a customer service manager from Instagram and told her that her account had been blocked. He explained that someone had filed a complaint against her for accepting donations from her fans. Lynn was shocked. She immediately checked her phone and saw that her account really was blocked. The caller then said that unless she paid a $2,000 penalty, her account would be permanently deleted. A scared and confused Lynn didn't know what to do. So, in an effort to save her account, she decided to transfer the money to the account number he gave her. But when she realized that the so-called Instagram manager was asking her to send money to a personal bank account, she started to get suspicious. She did some digging and found out the truth. The man was actually named Yangoy, a scammer who tricked people with fake calls like this one. And now he was trying to scam Lynn too. Lynn confronted him and threatened to report him to the police. Yangoy, trying to bribe her into silence, offered her money to keep quiet. But instead of backing off, Lynn asked to meet him. When they met, Yang learned that Lynn didn't just want hush money. She needed a full 1 Indian rupee lakh, around $1,200. Her boyfriend had taken out a huge loan in her name and then disappeared. Here comes a sarcastic life lesson. If your partner cheats on you, just take a loan in their name. After hearing her heartbreaking story, Young actually felt bad for her and decided to help her out. In return, Lynn agreed not to report him to the authorities. Together, they started to track down Lynn's ex-boyfriend, Jijin. They discovered he used to work 4A travels and was now dating a new girl named Hao Yi. Seeing this crushed Lynn, especially when she noticed that Jijin was using the exact same pickup lines on Hao Yi that he once used on her. So, Yang came up with a plan to trap Jijin in a hotel scam. He and Lynn created a fake hotel website for a made-up place called Phillips Hotel. They changed their clothes and identities and made fake business cards. Lynn became Francis Coy, and Young introduced himself as Mr. B.O. Soon after, they realized they'd need another woman for the plan. Someone who was both beautiful and a great actress, who could help lure Jijin in and make the scam more believable. The plan wasn't just to trick Jijin for 2 Indian rupees lakh. They wanted to scam him for a full 6 Indian rupees lakh. But Lynn wasn't interested in going that far. She only cared about recovering her own 2 Indian rupees lakh. Yang then explained that Jijin probably hadn't just done this to her. He might have ruined the lives of many girls. In that case, this scam wouldn't really be wrong. It would be justice on behalf of all the girls he had hurt. He said, out of the 6 Indian rupees lack, you'll get 3 Indian rupees lack. The actress playing the rich girl will get 2 Indian rupees lack. And for doing all this work, I deserve at least 1 Indian rupee lack. Lin finally agreed to the plan. Now their biggest problem was finding a beautiful woman who could seduce Jijin and draw him into the trap. That's when Lin remembered her friend Amak, the girl who used to pretend to be blind and fall in front of luxury cars outside their office to get money. They went to meet Amak, who had just performed her latest act by falling in front of a Lamborghini, and got paid well for it. Young was very impressed by her acting and explained the whole plan to her. Amak had to pretend to be a rich client, someone who would book a luxury trip through Jijin's travel agency. During the interaction, she would brag about her wealth and American lifestyle, tempting Jijin to fall for her and see her as his next easy. Later, we see Amak, now dressed in high-end branded clothes and a fake diamond necklace, meeting Jijin at a hotel. Jijin falls for her instantly at first glance, and Amak plays her part perfectly. Suddenly, a man walking nearby trips near her feet and starts yelling at her, blaming her. During this, Jijin notices the man's employee ID. He works at Dong Electronics. Jijin steps in and says, "Watch your words. Do you even know who you're talking to? She's not just anyone. She's your boss's daughter. How can you not recognize your employer's daughter?" Watching from a distance, Yang and Lin are shocked. Yang, being a lip-reading expert, quickly understands what just happened, and now he fears that their entire plan might be exposed. Meanwhile, poor Amak is terrified, caught in the middle. Sweat starts forming on her forehead, and she doesn't know what to say. She's scared Amak was standing in her place. At first, she wanted to run away from this trouble, but then she remembered that she wasn't a bad actress. Her dream was to win an Oscar for her acting. This was just a small role. How could she give up on it? She turned back confidently and said to the man, "According to my father, if you stay calm for 5 minutes in any situation, you can control everything." That's what I was doing. And if you think it was my mistake, just check the camera in this electric car. You'll see the truth clearly. Then, using fake blood, she pretended to have hurt her head to gain sympathy. Finally, she showed the fake ID card that Young had made and scolded the man like a real boss. She told him, "You didn't just embarrass me. You insulted the huge empire my father built, the Dying Group. I'm firing you right now." The innocent man admitted his mistake and left. Only then did Young and Lin, who were watching from afar, relax. Their next task was to get Jizon's phone and save Young's number in it instead of the hotel manager Shungui's number. This way, when Jizon booked, the call would go directly to Young. The plan began. Imak cleverly asked Jizon for his phone. Seeing this, Lin pretended to blog to distract Jizon, who immediately came over. But before anything happened, Jizon saw Imak and told Lin to leave. Taking advantage of the moment, Young unlocked Jizon's phone password and replaced Shungui's number with his own. Lin had to act extra for this to work, but in the end they succeeded. Now, when Jizon called the hotel for Imak's booking, the call went to Young, who answered and said he was on vacation. His colleague Tung would help instead. That evening, Lin and Young had dinner together. Young asked Lin why she became a scammer and why she didn't change her career. Young said, I wanted to be a teacher, but I'll just do some hacking and scamming first, then sell online courses about it. There's a big demand for those these days. Lin replied, I think you could be a good person. Why don't you just quit all this? Young joked that her innocence is why people trick her. Lin sadly said, You're right. Maybe I don't know how to judge people. I trust too much. Before meeting Jizon, I worked at a good company, but my boss tried to assault me. While I complained to the police, I lost my job. Everyone at home thinks I quit because of a bad temper, but can a woman stand up for her rights? I just didn't want to be a burden. But people like Jizon took advantage of me. I even made a social media account to raise awareness for girls like me. But people made fun of me there, so I deleted everything. Lin never blamed Jizon, saying she was the one who gave people a chance. Young understood her pain and comforted her, saying it wasn't her fault. Just bad luck trusting the wrong guy. Not every guy is the same, he said, and Lin looked at him lovingly. That night, they went for a long drive, having fun. They were slowly starting to like each other. After a long time, Lin smiled again. Next morning, Young took Lin and Imak to meet his uncle and teacher, Hudang. Soon, they went to negotiate at Jizon's travel agency, where Young raised the offer for the hotel booking from $600,000 to $650,000. Jizon thought it was too much, but since Imak wanted to stay at the Golden Sea Hotel, they closed the deal at $600,000 with the condition that Hudang must get all the money in cash. The next day, Imak called Jizon and said her company's finance department was busy. So could he pay some advance for the hotel? Jizon refused. Imak, following Young's advice, offered to pay 200,000 rupees advance from her side. Jizon agreed, but everyone wondered where they get that money from. They had nothing. Young said, don't worry. He mortgaged his car and got 200,000 rupees. They made a promissory note promising to pay Jizon on time. He sent a photo of this to Imak, who shared it with Jizon to gain his trust. Jizon thought the money would arrive soon and agreed to pay the advance. What he didn't know was that as soon as he gave Hudang the 600,000 rupees, Young would cancel the promissory note at the bank. That night, Lin, Amok, Young, and Hutton celebrated the upcoming money. Young said, "Tomorrow after the money arrives, I'll throw a party at the Iron Tower restaurant." Lin asked if he knew how to pick locks. Then we see them at Hawking City's Love Bridge, where years ago Lin had locked a padlock with her and Jizon's names, making a wish. Now, she wanted to forget that memory. Young tried hard but couldn't open the lock. Still, he wiped away the words written on it for Lin, making her very happy. She said, "A new chapter in my life begins today." A photographer nearby tried to sell their picture in a pretty locket, but they told him they were just friends. The next day, Hutton went to get fake hotel booking money from Jizon, but Jizon only gave 200,000 and said he needed time to talk to Stung Hoi for the rest. Hutton wanted to refuse the money, but thought it was better than nothing, so he gave it to Young. Young knew getting the remaining 400,000 from Jizon would be tough, so he suggested they split 100,000 and leave quietly. But Hutton didn't want to betray the two girls waiting at the hotel and reluctantly agreed. Meanwhile, Amok and Lin waited eagerly for Young at the Iron Tower restaurant. Hours passed, but neither Young nor Hutton came. Lin immediately realized she was tricked again. She quietly hid her feelings, dropped Amok off, and went to her room to cry. Then Young came in and said, "You know I drive slowly. Maybe that's why I'm late." But Lin already knew she was betrayed and wondered why Young hadn't returned despite the money arriving. We learn that Young didn't come back because of his love for Lin. He called his uncle and planned how to get the rest of Jizon's money using a new trick. Lin told everyone Jizon loves racing cars. Young, with Amok's help, planned to invest Jizon's money in a racing car. But Lin's condition was she needed the 200,000 advance before meeting Jizon, because she no longer trusted Young fully. Young happily gave her the promissory note. The next morning, Amok tricked Jizon into coming to a racing car event. Amok introduced Young as a racer friend and showed Jizon a Ferrari from Young's rare collection. Jizon was amazed. This was the first time he saw his dream car. Amok said she planned to gift the car to her father on his birthday. Young said, "That's great, but what about the money? You've only saved 100,000 so far. What about the remaining 800,000? Amok promised to pay by next Monday, but Young said it would be too late and he couldn't wait. He had other buyers. Amok begged Jizon to wait a few days, but he refused. So Amok sweetly asked Jizon for a 400,000 rupee loan, and though hesitant, he agreed. Then for some reason, he changed his mind and told Amok he'd find a better gift for her father. Seeing the plan fail, Amok left. Then Jizon got a call from the Golden Sea manager, Shangui, whose number wasn't saved on his phone. He found out the man he thought was Shangui's colleague was actually a stranger. Shocked, Jizan began to suspect Amok. He followed them and saw Lin with them. Furious, he went to Lin's house, apologized for his deception, and explained he had no strong background and had to do what he did. He said scammers wouldn't have given her the $400,000. He promised to pay the rest, $800,000, to Young through Lin so she could restart her life, keeping $600,000 for himself. Lin found some truth in his words. Jizan hugged her and gained her trust. Then he would give Amok the $400,000 for her head gift, the racing car. Young gave all Jizan's money to Lin to divide equally. The next day, Lin returned the money bag to Jizan, who put it in his car trunk. Lin was very happy to have her love back, but when she tried to open the gate, it was locked from inside, and Jizan was laughing and taking a selfie, mocking her innocence. Poor Lin was betrayed again, this time with her 600,000 rupees and the money mortgaged on Young's car. Jizan was ecstatic over the money when Young arrived, and Lin mocked him loudly. Lin knew Jizan wouldn't pay $400,000 for the racing car, but if he knew he was being scammed, he'd do anything for revenge. So Young pretended to be Shangui, called Jizan, and told him everything so he would chase them. Young and Amok met Jizan on purpose, and when Jizan saw this, he tried sweet tea.